On a hot, hazy day in New York City, it is time for baseball as Hyundai presents the Sunday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the Baltimore Orioles in the final game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball along with John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees started this 10-game homestand on Friday, and we said they could not lose many games. So far, they haven't lost any, and in both games have been different heroes.
Well, on Friday night, it was Ichiro Suzuki who had the big home run in the fifth inning. Actually, the whole Yankee lineup swung the bats extremely well on Friday night. Yesterday, not as much offense, but enough. Robinson Cano in the first inning, a double and an RBI, and then in the bottom of the eighth, his 25th home run gives Ivan Nova a little bit of breathing room. He really did not need it. He was on top of his game all afternoon. The curveball was there. When he needed some double plays, he got them. The one scare in the bottom of the ninth, or top of the ninth inning, Davis, a long fly ball, and then Jones with the line out, Ivan Nova, complete game shutout.
Now, one of the things that we keep saying, well, it's going to be tough for the Yankees to get in the playoffs because they have to jump over so many teams. Not anymore. The next team they jump over, they would be considered a playoff team. The A's and the Rays now hold the two wild cards. So, John, they call it controlling your own destiny. If they could gain one more game on the Rays, they have 3 games left with the Rays, so they would control their own destiny.
Well, you feel good about that, being able to win those games against Tampa and fight your way into a playoff spot. I just like the last 2 games. They swung the bats on Friday night, and they pitched yesterday. This team now looks to me like a playoff team. A couple of weeks ago, you could not say that.
Let's take a look now at the Yankees trying to sweep in the New York Lottery pitching matchup. Has Wei-In Chen on the mound for the Orioles, and for the Yankees, it's Andy Pettitte. He has been one of their hottest pitchers. 10-9 now, the veteran is, with a 4.05 ERA. And when we return, we'll talk about Andy Pettitte, how good he's been of late. You know, he's 3-0 in his last 3 starts. John Flaherty's going to try to explain why. That's next on Yes. That's a good thing. If you look at his last 3 starts, 3-0, 0.46. All of the numbers are outstanding. Welcome back to the booth. That's John Flaherty. I'm Michael Kay. Andy Pettitte, the veteran, actually the oldest starter in Major League Baseball, has stepped up when the Yankees needed him.
Well, he's getting hot at the right time. If the Yankees are going to make a playoff push, Andy Pettitte has to pitch like he has the last 3 outings. 1 earned run over his last 3 outings. A lot of it, the ability to field your position obviously comes into play, but it's location on his fastball. He might have a little more zip on the fastball, but he's not making the mistakes that he was making in the middle of the strike zone early on, and the results have been there because of it.
So Andy Pettitte will try to complete the sweep for the New York Yankees. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees and the Orioles next, right here on Yes. By New York Yankees premium frozen pizza available at King Cullen, Western Beef, Christie's, and your local grocer. And by Dodge. Take advantage of great summertime deals at the Dodge Summer Clearance Event. Going on now. Labor Day Sunday here in New York City. Crowd at Yankee Stadium waiting to see if the Yankees could finish off this sweep of the Baltimore Orioles. 8-5 on Friday, 2-0 yesterday. Andy Pettitte on the mound today, and he'll face this Orioles starting lineup. Orioles are 71-63, and they lead off their right fielder, Nick Markakis. Third baseman, Manny Machado, bats second. Batting third and playing center field, Adam Jones. At first base, Chris Davis will clean up. The newest Oriole, left fielder Michael Morris, will bat fifth. Batting sixth and DHing Danny Valencia. Matt Wieters is going to catch. He'll bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the shortstop, J.J. Hardy. And at second base, Brian Roberts will bat ninth.
A little different lineup for Baltimore. They're going to face the veteran Andy Pettitte. We'll take a look at his numbers on the year's 25th start. Record at 10-9 and the ERA just over 4. Check out our pitcher scouting report, which is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. If you're a Yankee fan, he's getting hot at the right time. He's won 3 in a row. Last time out, 7 shutout innings against Toronto, and great numbers against lefties. Only .213 batting average against, and 28, the number of wins he has in his career against the Baltimore Orioles.
And in his last 11 starts against the Orioles, he is 8-0. So Nick Markakis will lead off. Andy Pettitte is ready as well. And we're almost ready for baseball here in the Bronx. And now we are. Markakis in the box. Pettitte on the rubber. And let's do it here in New York. First pitch is a strike, and we are underway.
Well, Markakis leading off today. It's been Nate McLeod the last couple of games. Baltimore shut out yesterday by a great performance of Von Nova, and a little different lineup against the lefty Andy Pettitte.
Count quickly 0-2. Markakis with a fly ball to center field. Gardner will put it away for the first out. I want to check out the Yankee defense presented by Geico. So we've seen Gardner in center. In left field, it's Soriano. In right field, it's Vernon Wells. Go to the infield. Third to first, A-Rod, Nunez, Cano, and Reynolds. Now, Nunez playing short. Jeter is the DH, saying nothing wrong, just a half day off. And Chris Stewart struggling at the plate, but not behind the plate. He'll catch today. And on the mound, Andrew Eugene Pettitte. Manny Machado hits a fly ball to right field, and Wells is there to put it away for the second out.
We talk about Andy Pettitte winning 3 games in a row, and all of a sudden he's done a better job in the first inning. He was having trouble in that department early on. Location with his fastball is better, and you definitely notice a little more tilt on the cutter. Looking to continue this afternoon.
There was some concern when you got to the ballpark early that the tarp was on the field. It was raining in the morning here in New York, but the sun has fought its way through. And it looks like a nice day at this point. Here's Jones. And there's a strike. Andy still has a very good fastball. First day of September. 41 years old, still dealing. And if he has a fastball at 90, his stuff is plenty good enough. Count 1-1.
We saw that stretch in the middle of the year where Andy was struggling a little bit and just making mistakes in the middle of the plate. He doesn't have the overpowering stuff anymore to do that. But you're right, 90, if he can locate in and out with that movement on the cutter, he'll be just fine.
Grounded, foul. Could make a decision on who to give the ball to. Probably gave it to that family. Pettitte deals. Inside. 2-2. Told you about the last 11 starts. 2.99 with that 8-0. High pop-up right side of the infield. Cano calls off Reynolds, and he'll make the play. And the Orioles go down in order against the veteran lefty. Orioles nothing, and the Yankees coming to bat. And it's presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner will be in center field. He's going to lead off. Batting second, the captain, the DH, Derek Jeter. Robinson Cano at second base will hit third. Cleaning up left fielder Alfonso Soriano. Alex Rodriguez, who was out yesterday with flu-like symptoms, he'll play third base. He'll bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Vernon Wells. The first baseman, Mark Reynolds, bats seventh. Batting eighth, the shortstop, Eduardo Nunez, after missing 3 games, sore right knee. Behind the plate, Chris Stewart will bat ninth.
Lineup for the Yankees going to face a good young left-handed pitcher in Wei-Yin Chen. Numbers on the year would be at his 18th start, 7-7, ERA at 3.76. We'll look at our pitcher scouting report, brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Coming off a rough start, 3 2/3 against Boston his last time, 8 earned runs. That's his shortest outing of his career. Fastball command was a big issue in that game, and he is proud of that fastball. He throws it 68% of the time, which is above the average for major league pitchers.
So here's Gardner to start it off. In on the grass is Machado at third. Line drive down the right field line. It's a base hit. It's going to go to the wall. Markakis plays it off the wall, and Gardner starts off the game with a double. Same thing he did yesterday. Let's check out the Orioles defense. Presented by Geico. We've seen Markakis in right, Jones is in center, and the newest Oriole, Morse, is in left. Go the other way in the infield. Machado, Hardy, Robertson, Davis third to first. Leaders behind the plate, and Chen is on the mound.
Well, the Yankees have taken two games already in this series, and now Brett Gardner does not waste any time. First pitch swinging, leadoff double. I mentioned Chen, his last outing against Boston. He got beat up a little bit. You wonder if he's thinking, what's going on here? One pitch, I have a runner in scoring position already.
Same spot yesterday. Jeter tried to bunt. Let's see if he feels more comfortable against Chen. Not bunting, and he hits it to the right side, so gets the job done. Roberts gets Jeter, and Gardner moves to third.
You can see Derek Jeter not on top of his game offensively. The at-bats have not been very good, but a productive one right there. Does not square around to bunt. He's going to stay inside the baseball with his hands. He does that. He's able to force the ball the other way. Brett Gardner standing at third base, and another opportunity for Robinson Cano.
Well, the Orioles are going to give up a run with the speedy Gardner at third, infield, shortstop and second back. Machado about halfway, and Davis a couple of steps behind the bag. So it looks like they will surrender that run. And a strike. Here's something to look forward to. Today's September 1st. In September and October regular season games, Cano's batting average in his career is .332. And that's the 7th highest batting average for those 2 months since 1960.
Well, the other thing Robinson talked about, protection in the lineup now with Soriano hitting behind him. He's seeing a lot more pitches to hit.
Quickly 0-2. Since August 5th, in 24 games, he's been on fire. 36 for 89. Comes out to 404. So the first game of the September run.
Let's see what Chen comes with here. He's a fastball changeup pitcher. We'll see if he has a breaking ball for Cano or stays with the fastball. Not your typical lefty that he has a big sweeping breaking ball to get left-handed hitters out. Batting average against for left-handed hitters off of Chen, it's about 192. He throws a lot of fastballs in on the lefties. They're not used to seeing that, but doesn't have that big breaking ball. Looks like Cano's going to see a breaking ball here for the first time in this at bat.
2-2. He got him. Swung over the breaking ball. 2 away. Big out for Chen.
Big out, and it was set up with all those fastballs that Robbie saw at about 92, 93 miles an hour, and then the breaking ball comes in at 75. And it was middle of the plate, but it was the speed that fooled Robinson Cano. It's 20 miles an hour off of his fastball.
That's going to bring up Soriano. Big August for Soriano. 11 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Those are his numbers with the Cubs and the Yankees. The 11 and the 31 tied with Miguel Cabrera, most in the majors.
Alfonso Soriano in this spot right here, 2-0, a fastball count. We've already talked about it. Chen throws his fastball about 68% of the time. Look for the fastball and try to do some damage.
Count 3-0. See if they green light him. Did not throw it right over the plate, right on the inside part of the plate, and count 3-1.
We saw Baltimore yesterday try to throw some more fastballs in on the hands of Alfonso. Got a home run in the first game of the series going the other way. Breaking ball,
3-2.
Just Dropped it in there for a strike. Changeup is his best off-speed pitch to righties, but he drops a little breaking ball in for strike 2.
And the payoff. Just missed inside. So Soriano, who hardly ever walks, works a walk, and that'll bring up A-Rod. Yankees baseball is available in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Infinity. A-Rod sat out yesterday with flu-like symptoms. Felt better today, back in the lineup. And Chen deals. Fastball up and away, 1-0.
Well, Alex was 1 for 4 Friday night in RBI. A base hit his last at bat. Did not look good early in that ball game. Now we find out wasn't feeling that well. Missed yesterday's game. Back in there today. See the delivery from Chen also. It's nice and easy, nice and smooth, and the ball jumps out of his hand. 93 right there to Alex, right by him. Not a lot of effort in that delivery. Nice and smooth and a lot of life on the fastball.
Count 2-1. Has a 6-game hitting streak working, and during that time hitting .333, 2 homers and 4 rookies. So Gardner is at third and Soriano at first. 2 men out, bottom of the first inning here at the stadium. Orioles did not score in the top of the first. They went down 1-2-3 against Pettit. Way outside, 3-1.
That's the first look we've got at the changeup at 85 miles an hour, about 8 miles off of his fastball.
Fastball right by him, 3-2. So that releases Soriano at first. Gardner will stay put at third with 3-2 and 2 outs.
I'm sure Matt Wieters catching this afternoon behind the plate noticed those 2 fastballs right by Alex Rodriguez, and that was in a fastball count. Come right back with it. See if Alex can dial it up a notch.
And a walk to A-Rod. And now the bases are loaded for Vernon Wells. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 80 degrees, humidity is 74%, wind 6 miles per hour. Rain is expected after 5 p.m. And forecast mostly cloudy skies. So Wieters goes out and talks with Chen. And now here's Wells.
You look at Chen's numbers on the year. He has walked 4 in a game 1 time this year. 32 in the first inning this afternoon.
Big spot for Vernon Wells. Wells playing right field as Ichiro takes a seat against the lefty. And it's not an easy decision, John, to sit down Ichiro. Ichiro has a .340 batting average against lefties, but if you're not going to play Wells against the lefty starter, when are you going to play him? And here he is with a 1-0 count. Anderson also gets the day off. 1-0. 2-0. There's no place to put Wells.
It does not get any better than this for Vernon Wells. 2-0 count, bases loaded. Chen struggling a little bit. One thing Vernon watching on deck, seeing those fastballs, Alex Rodriguez, they have a little bit of life. Make sure you get it ready just a little bit earlier and make sure you get the bat head out if you get a pitch that you like.
Line drive, foul ball.
That's exactly what he's looking to do there. You know you're getting a fastball. Just make sure you're going to be early rather than late. Just a little too quick. Hooks it foul. You can see the disappointment. Had a pitch to do some big time damage with. You would rather be that way than get jammed and be a little bit late.
Gardner's at third. Soriano at second. Rodriguez is at first. The 2-1. 3-1. Another good count now.
Looks like Chen a lot more comfortable throwing the ball in on righties, trying to hit that inside corner. So if you're Vernon, cut that plate in half. Middle in. It's in that zone. Make sure you get the bat head out again.
Again, a little too quick. So now the count is full. And the bases loaded. 2 outs. They'll all be going.
Middle in. And you can see the frustration again. He's had 2 pitches in this at bat, just been a little bit too quick both times.
All right, John, do you even allow yourself to think maybe throw him a breaking ball on 3-2?
Well, if Chen, your best pitch, your best off-speed pitch is your changeup, you're thinking about it, but he's thrown, what, a couple in this inning, and he's missed badly. On Matt Wieters, I'm thinking fastball away and take my chances.
The runners go. The 3-2. Grounded foul.
Went off speed. Went with a little slider at 83.
Could they have been scared off by the fact that he was on both of those fastballs?
Sure, but both of those fastballs were middle in. You know, if I find the plate, I'm thinking if I can hit the outside corner down and away, I'll be able to get a ground ball.
Big spot in the game early. Bottom of the first inning. Bases loaded. They are making Chen work here in the first 25 pitches. The runners go. The 3-2. Strike 3. Wells down looking at a fastball on the outside part of the plate. No runs, a hit, no errors, and the bases are left loaded. We go to the second. 0-0. strike. Here's Chris Davis, and we'll look at the Dodge hitter scouting report.
Well, the Yankees have done a good job with Davis the first 2 games of the series, and everybody knows a career year, 47 home runs, 122 RBIs, batting average over 300. The strikeouts still elevated, 162. So Andy Pettit's name there. Chris Davis, the only left-handed hitter to hit a home run against Andy Pettit in Yankee Stadium this year.
Davis has 6 home runs this year against the Yanks. Not that time. A ground ball to Nunez, who was playing on the second base side of the bag, 1 away. And that's going to bring up the newest Oriole, Michael Morse. In his career, Morse is a .293 hitter against left-handed pitching. He had a disappointing season this year for Seattle. His numbers with the Nationals before that, very good. Fouled away.
Baltimore hoping he can get hot the last month of the season, help them out trying to make the playoffs. But you watch him and how far off of home plate he sets up. He's a big man with some long arms, and you can pitch him inside, but he sets so far off the plate. It's tough to get a strike in there. That is always the game plan. Try to tie him up inside with fastballs and cutters. Make a mistake out over the plate, he can really hurt you.
So although he's far away, John, you don't want to risk pitching him outside because he's diving in.
He's diving in a little bit, and once he extends those arms, he has power to all fields. Now the problem, how do you get a strike in here? You know, that's so far away from him that it's almost middle of the plate. So you want to get him to swing at some pitches off the plate in if you can.
And even if you just paint the inside corner, if he's diving, you're hoping he jams himself. The 2-2. Rocketed past A-Rod and off the wall there in left field. Soriano plays the carom, and he will hold Morse to a single.
Well, nice job by Soriano playing that carom, holding Morse to a single. Look at the pitch, it's going to be middle in on the corner, but like I said, he's so far off the plate, it's almost middle of the plate for him, and he hammers it past Alex Rodriguez. First at bat for Baltimore, a productive one.
Here's Valencia, who victimized CC Sabathia on Friday. And there's a strike. High fly ball, left field. Soriano will put it away for the second out. A couple of new Yankees today. You can expand the roster up to 40 starting on September 1st. So the Yankees have called up David Adams, so they have some infield depth. They also called up the switch hitting catcher J.R. Murphy, who had a good year between AA and AAA. Left-handed pitcher Cesar Cabral. Another look at Dellin Betances and Brett Marshall. Now they will call up Preston Claiborne tomorrow. They could not call him up today until his season ends. They had sent him all the way down to A-ball. That season ends today. Those are the 5 up today. And they all have reason to smile.
Cabral and Murphy getting their first taste of the major leagues, so congratulations to them. Quite an accomplishment. And Joe Girardi has a couple of weapons now to use in the middle of ball games.
Joe was asked before the game, are you going to get a chance to evaluate? He shook his head quickly. He goes, no, this is not a time for evaluation. He said, we'll use them if they can help us win, but I'm not going to put somebody up to see if he can help us next year.
September is a time of year for different organizations to find out different things. The Yankees, you're trying to get to the playoffs. It might be a left-handed at bat in the middle of a ball game. That Cabral gets an opportunity. You might be able to switch with your catchers a little bit, where Murphy can come in late in the ball game. And other clubs are going to play their September call-ups for the month of September to see what they have getting ready for spring training.
Yankees got to make move on their 40 to get some of these guys on. Jason Nix was put on the 60-day DL. Melky Mesa was designated for assignment. The Yankees have really had to massage that 40-man roster. You can't call somebody up to the 25-man roster unless he's on the Major League 40. And the Yankees have used it very, very judiciously. If you put somebody on the 60-day DL, you still control them as if he's on the 40. But he's not on the 40, it opens up another spot. The Yankees have done that a lot this year. They've had a lot of injuries where they can actually do that. Morse gets back.
You see Wieters and his numbers on the year, the batting average down, but he's actually a better hitter from this side of the plate, 265, with 8 home runs against left-handed pitching.
He has 1 for his last 22. 1 for his last 23 as he swings and misses to end the second. No runs are hit. 1 man left on base. Let's go to the bottom of the second. 0-0.
And, you know, if it's 25, it's 25. If it's 27, it's 27. And I don't think you should be able to take starting pitchers off that roster in a sense. So you have your 5 starters and you declare them. And then, you know, if you want to declare another reliever or another catcher or whatever you want to do, I think you should be able to do that.
And that's Joe Girardi talking about what some people consider the unfair nature of the September call-ups, because you have to manage a game completely in a different manner. So many more people you have to think of, so many more people in the bullpen, and games are longer, benches are deeper, bullpens are deeper, and it almost creates an unfair advantage for some teams, especially teams that aren't playing for something. You're seeing kids that you wouldn't see, you haven't scouted, and it's something that Major League Baseball really has to address, John, and a lot of managers agree. Jim Leland agrees, Buck Showalter agrees, Joe Girardi agrees. Maybe you have a taxi squad, call up as many people as you want, but you have to designate 28 guys that will play that day.
Yeah, I agree with them. I mean, you're talking about teams that are successful and they're worried about the last month of the year being impacted. Good fastball for strike 3 right there. But
and our Toyota question today, brought to you by Toyota. Prius is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees, has to do with it. Do you think September roster expansion is fair? Why or why not? And here's one of our responses. MTT Wisson 16 said yes, it gives contenders the ability to rest key guys and non-contenders a look at young talent heading into 2014. I don't agree with that.
Now here's the flip side of it.
Nunez with the ground ball short.
If you have a minor league system that has a lot of good young players that come up to the big leagues, why shouldn't you be rewarded for developing good players and letting them impact a major league game?
Because what gets me, John, is that September, decides whether you're not going to go to the postseason or not. No other sport do you change the rules of the sport down the stretch. I mean, the last 3 games of football, do you let them have a 16-man roster? In basketball, do you let them add 3 guys to the bench? It just seems ludicrous, but baseball continues to do it. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius to keep the conversation going. There's a strike to Chris Stewart. Stewart lines one to left field, and Morris makes the play on the run. So Chen, who had that rough first inning, works a 1-2-3 second inning against the Yankees. We're going to the third, 0-0. Light. With a start today, Pettit has 25 starts, so that gives the Yankees 4 starters with 25 or more starts. Only 3 other teams in baseball have that, and that's a testament to the Yankees and the way they've kept their pitchers healthy, and they just keep rolling them out there. Lincoln scoreboard, 0-0. Top of the third. J.J. Hardy leads off. And there's a strike. And what's impressive about that, John, there's age on the Yankee staff, and they just keep taking the ball. And Andy got to 25 starts despite the trap injury that he had.
He's gotten to 25 starts, and he's getting better here at the end of the year. We already talked about winning 3 in a row. Big part of what the Yankees want to do in September relies on Andy Pettit being successful. It's amazing how quickly things turn, huh, in this wild card race. I mean, a couple of good games, a couple of losses by some other teams.
Base hit through the right side. Hardy reaches. Well, that's why when we were talking about it Friday, John, when you talk about, you know, they probably have to go 23-6 in their last 29 games, but all the perspective changes. If you win 5 in a row and the team you're losing loses 5 in a row, then you're looking at a completely different set of numbers.
The Yankees have jumped over Cleveland, Baltimore now, Tampa Bay in their sights. I think, you know, if you look at it day by day, though, these last 2 games, the Yankees look more like a playoff team. They're swinging the bats better. Nova throws a gem yesterday, a complete game shutout. Then you look out on the field and say, I could see them making a run at this thing. You couldn't say that a couple of weeks ago.
That's the wild card right now. A's and the Rays. And the thing that's benefited the Yankees, they've won these 2 in a row, and the A's and the Rays are playing each other. So you know that you're going to gain on one of them. There are no ties in baseball. You're going to gain on one of them.
But you said this in the open. How nice would it be if the Yankees get to that position and they have 3 more games against Tampa, and you can really dictate your own future with that series? Well, the Yankees would have signed up for that a couple of weeks ago if they could get there.
Line into right field, a base hit in front of Wells. So successive singles to open up the third. First and second, nobody out.
Well, J.J. Hardy going the other way. Now Brian Roberts doing the same thing, not trying to pull that cutter. Just block it off the other way, take your base hit. Baltimore set up here in the 3rd inning.
So here's Markakis, skied out to center in the first. First and second. Nobody out.
I mentioned in the scouting report, Andy Pettitte doing a good job against left-handed hitters, batting average just over 210. But Markakis a little different. He's got a 293 batting average against Andy Pettitte with a couple of home runs, and that's at 41 at bats. He's a left-hander who sees the ball well out of Andy's hand and has had some production.
2-0. And now you're really teetering on dangerous territory. You lose Markakis, and you've got the meat of the order coming up: Machado, Jones, and Davis. Fastball catches the outside corner, 2-1.
And it was down to a perfect pitch on a 2-0 count. You're always thinking in this spot of one pitch, double play. What pitch will I need to get that double play? Is it a sinker in on Markakis' hands? Is that cutter slider down and away? Try to get a rollover ground ball.
3-1.
Now if you're Chris Stewart, that thinking changes pretty quickly in a 3-1 count. Nobody out, first and second. And the numbers off of Pettitte.
Three and two. See if they send the runners. They do not. And Markakis pops it up. Cano calls everybody off to make the play. Big out for Pettitte and the Yanks.
Well, you get the out. You also fight your way back if you're Andy Pettitte from being behind in the count, 3-1. Fight all the way back and get an easy pop-up.
So Stewart has a conversation with Andy, and here is Machado. You know, we told the story yesterday about the unbreakable records, and we said Cy Young's 511 wins and probably Ripken's consecutive game streak, because no manager would allow it to get close. I'm not saying it's close, but Machado, 186 straight games. 21 years old, wants to play all the time. I guess when it reaches a certain number, then it becomes a beast of its own.
Yeah. Obviously, with those numbers, a very productive player for Buck Showalter, plays every day. And nice job at third base and an aggressive hitter. We saw him swing at the first pitch against Andy, his first at bat, a line drive to right field.
That one goes into the second day. In these situations, he is their leading hitter, which is amazing for a youngster. 351 hitter with runners in scoring position, so the moment does not overwhelm him.
Listen, taking nothing away from him in the year he's had, but hitting number 2 in this lineup in front of Jones, Davis, that's a pretty good spot to hit. You're going to get some pitches. He's taking advantage of it. I spoke about this too. He's going to become a much better run producer. Had an RBI streak broken yesterday. 5 games in a row coming in with RBIs. He's going to learn getting better and better at driving in runs, and the power will come. A lot of cutters in off the plate to Machado. He's wide open for a changeup down and away if Andy Pettitte and Chris Stewart choose to go that route.
The 2-1. Popped up. Reynolds for the second out.
Take a look at Andy Pettitte and what he's trying to do with Machado on a pitch by pitch. It was evident right from the first pitch. They're going to go with a lot of cutters in. First one's fouled off. Second one misses. Third one misses off the plate. Comes right back with it again. Middle in and an easy pop up. And that's a great sign for Pettitte. Getting some of these righties to pop up on that cutter tells you it's got good movement, good tilt, and also a little bit of velocity.
One more to go to work out of this jam, and it's Adam Jones at the plate. Jones popped to second. That was in the first.
We saw Von Nova do this yesterday. Take advantage of Baltimore and their aggressiveness. They do not like to walk. They go up to the plate swinging the bat. Make a quality pitch early. You get a nice ground ball, or you might get a swing and a miss.
One strike away. Second, Robertson first, 2 men out. 0-2 count on Jones. 1-2. And he pushed the envelope a little farther inside.
That's exactly what you're supposed to do. Try to stretch the plate a little bit, see if you can get a called third strike from above. Clearly off the plate by a bunch.
2-2. He deserves to relax after that performance yesterday. Gave the bullpen a rest, and now he gets to rest. The 2-2. Just got a piece.
See, Chris Stewart's going to go out and have a talk and a look at the last pitch. Again, it's off the plate. Foul ball. Stewart can't hold on. Chris Stewart and Andy Petty, you got to remember that Jones does not want to walk. He has walked 18 times all year long. When he gets in this situation, he wants to swing the bat. It's 18 walks over 550 at bats.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. 2-2. Check swing. And caught by Reynolds. On the back pedal, he hauls it in for the final out as Andy gets out of trouble. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We're going to the bottom of the third. Andy likes what he sees. 0-0. PCs or laptops with Time Warner Cable. Get a full season, or at least a month of September, of live Yankee games on the go for just $29.99. And if you're a Time Warner Cable customer, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Just wondering, John, if you haven't hopped on the Time Warner bandwagon yet, it's September 1st. Do you really think you're going to make a last-minute buy?
It's the most exciting month of the year.
It is.
All this playoff baseball, wild card implications.
Brett Gardner will lead off here in the third. You saw that shot, and you see the Time Warner, or the Lincoln scoreboard. You see the shot of Andy, how excited he was with the pop-up. 41 years old. He's won 5 World Series, and that, getting out of that jam is still a big deal in his job.
Well, first and second, nobody out, being able to make your way through it without having Baltimore get on the scoreboard. He gets locked in when he pitches. I mean, he's as intense of a pitcher as I have ever caught.
That was pitched in World Series games, and that was big to him.
Oh, and he's going to start talking to himself, too, in the dugout. It's really priceless during a ball game when he pitches. He is so hard on himself. Whenever he gives up a hit, you know, he just beats himself up on location and pitch selection. You love it as a catcher. You get a guy out there who really cares and breaks down the game.
And you see that, John. And, you know, there's debate. Is Andy going to come back next year? Does he want to pitch anymore after this? I don't think that you miss the travel and you don't miss the working out, but I think you miss that because there's no way in life to create that sort of excitement.
all the work that you do to get ready for a season, all the work you do in between starts, that competition for a couple of hours, you can't replace it.
Now you've replaced it by moving up here.
Like I said, you just can't replace it.
The 2-2 to Gardner. Still 2-2.
Well, you talk to guys who retire, you know, as an old timers day this year for the first time, and you know, what do you miss? And you miss being around the guys, and you miss the competition. You don't miss the traveling, being away from your family. You don't miss all the work that it takes to stay out on the field and be productive.
Two to Gardner. So Gardner doubled in the first inning. Now he's worked the count full against Chen. And the lefties pay off. Hammered to right field again. It's a base hit again. It's into the corner again. And Markakis plays off the wall again. Another double for Gardner.
We'll see if the Yankees can cash in here in the third inning. Another double. Had a productive at bat, seen a lot of pitches, and then just keeps his hands in and finishes his swing nicely. Yankees had their opportunity in the first. Bases loaded, couldn't cash in. We'll see what they do here in the third.
Now Jeter hit the ball to the right side in the first inning. Moved Gardner to third, and Gardner's had a good series against the O's so far, 5 for 10 with 3 doubles. What does Jeter do now? Does he bunt? Does he try to hit it to the right side again? No bunt. Takes a strike on the outside corner.
See, Derek doesn't look real happy with that call. Might have been borderline down. Jeff Kellogg, the home plate umpire, has given a couple of low strikes early on in this ball game. That's below the knees.
Again a strike. Count 0-2.
A little bit better right there, middle of the plate, right at the level of the knees. Now Derek's got to work a little bit. 0-2, got to fight a ball off, try to put it in play.
And tipped into the glove of Wieters, and Jeter goes down on strikes. So he felt he had to protect on that last pitch because they were called strikes on the first two.
Yeah, the first one was down and it was called a strike. I'm sure that was in Derek's mind, and that one clearly down, out of the strike zone. Derek just trying to put it in play and slap it the other way. Foul tipped it, but Wieters able to hold on.
Well, that's going to bring up Cano. Struck out on a breaking ball in the first inning with Gardner at third in the infield bat. Count 0-1. Grounded to first. Davis knocks it down. He'll flip it to Chen to get Cano as Gardner moves to third.
Davis gets a lot of credit for what he's doing at the plate, but Baltimore, they like the job he's done in the field. Not a tough play. Backhands it, picks it up, flips to Chen. The infielders for Baltimore giving Davis a lot of credit on picking balls out of the dirt. Makes a routine play right there on Robinson Cano.
Here's Soriano. Soriano walked in the first inning. Yankees and the Orioles have played 14 times, and they've split those games 7-7. After this one, they have 4 more games in Baltimore. So they'll play 19 times this year. The 1-0. High breaking ball gets called a strike. Line drive, base hit. Soriano drives in the first run of the game. Gardner crosses and the Yankees lead 1-0.
Soriano picks up Derek Jeter and Robinson Cano with a 2-out base hit and RBI. Down and in. Drops the bat head. You can see it jams him a little bit, but strong enough to fight it off into center field. Brett Gardner will score easily. The Yankees on the board, a big 2-out hit from a hot hitter, Alfonso Soriano.
That's his 36th ribby with the Yankees. Here's Alex, who walked in the first inning. What has Soriano meant to this team? I mean, his insertion into the lineup has lengthened the lineup, given them a force in the middle, given Cano protection, and big hit after big hit, John.
You talk about it, going from the Cubs, who are a team that was going nowhere. Now you come to the Yankees, 12 home runs, 36 RBIs. Obviously coming to the stadium with something to play for every day. There's a little fire under Alfonso Soriano. I don't think anybody could have seen this coming. I mean, when the trade was made, you say, okay, I could see that move. Nice move. But to be as hot as he has been really has carried the Yankees, getting it back to this point where they're thinking about a postseason berth.
Popped up. Leaders makes the play right near the Yankee on deck circle for the final out of the third. But the Yankees take the lead. 1 run on 2 hits, 1 man left on base. We go to the fourth, 1-0 Yanks. NY Quick for free help today. The 95 Yankees went 22-6 starting on September 1st to win the first American League wild card. How many teams did they pass over that span? And what a wild card that was, Yankees against Seattle. We go to the fourth. And Chris Davis takes high, 1-0. The Benjamin Moore scoreboard, 1-0. Each team with 3 hits. Yankees lead. Davis pops it up. Nunez makes the play for the first out. Final out of the third inning was A-Rod's pop-up. And how difficult is this, John? Because Wieters has to dance around everything in the Yankee on deck circle.
Yeah, first of all, you find the ball, you take your mask off, you flip it away, and then you just try to follow the ball and hope that you don't trip on anything over there. And obviously, you know the weighted bats are there, the pine tar rag is over there. And really, yeah, with that play, he didn't have a lot of time to look down and gauge where everything was. You just hope you don't run on top of something and roll an ankle.
Did you ever roll an ankle?
Never. I ran into the on-deck circle and kind of kicked away some of the weighted bats and things like that, but never rolled an ankle.
Oh, 2 to Morse, who singled inside third in the second inning.
Andy Pettitte looking to have a better pitch count inning here in the fourth than he did in the third. 23 pitches in the third inning. We'll get back on track here in the fourth. Just watching Andy here with 1 out in the fourth inning. Every pitch he's making, when he misses, it's off the plate. Not missing middle of the plate like he was early on in the season. Even the hits he's given up, 3 of them have all been pretty good pitches. All singles.
Swing and a miss. Morse down on strikes.
Stay out of the middle of the plate if you're Andy Pettitte, and you will be successful. Here, way off the plate and in. More swings right over the top of it.
Here's Valencia with a fly ball to left in the second inning. Yankees lead 1-0 on the Soriano single, bottom of the third. Dribbled slowly, left side. A-Rod fields, fires, not in time. Infield single for Valencia.
Well, a couple of things. Nice job by Andy Pettitte letting this ball go. I think even if he gets to it, it's not going to have a play. The only play was Alex Rodriguez coming towards the ball. Bare hands it, but did not have a lot on the throw, and it's still a close play. Alex traveling a long way just to get to this bare hand. Just not enough on the throw.
Wieters fouls it away. keeping Valencia close.
Valencia does not have a stolen base on the year. Andy thinking maybe with 2 outs he'll take a shot at his first one, keeping him close over there.
Two. It's been a struggle for Wieters, and some say his offense has suffered because he played so much. He's played way more than any other catcher in baseball. So now 1 for his last 23.
And you can see the bat has slowed down a little bit. Even that last swing, Andy Pettit beat him. As a catcher who plays that much, you almost welcome the month of September where it'll cool off a little bit. In Baltimore, always hot playing there in Camden Yards during the summer, and you get to the month of September, refreshes you a little bit with the cooler weather. We'll see if his offensive game picks up at the end of the year.
Strike 3. Wieters down looking. Strikes out for the second time. No runs a hit. No errors. 1 man left. We're going to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Yanks. Quiz. 95 Yankees went 22-6 starting on September 1st to win the first American League wild card. How many teams did they pass over that span? A lot. The answer is 5. They had to pass the A's, Brewers, Mariners, Rangers, and the Royals. And they got it done. Vernon Wells fouls it away. These were the standings on September 1st, and that's everybody that they had to jump. Now, the Mariners ended up winning the West, so they ended up playing them in the wild card. Now, remember, that was after the strike, so that's why the total game's kind of low for September 1st, but that was some run by the Yankees. And the one thing I'll always remember, Showalter was the manager. And I've never seen a team, John. I mean, everybody plays for the team. You usually don't play for one man on the team. That entire team's rallying cry, let's get Don Mattingly into the postseason.
22-6 is what it took to get him there.
Benjamin Moore scoreboard, 1-0 Yankees. And then to see Donnie in that 5-game set.
Yeah, he did not disappoint.
Was raking, hit over 400. He performed very well on that big stage. Fly ball to Markakis. One away. You've got to see this. This happened last half inning. Now, yesterday, a little kid had a baseball and was about to throw it on the field, and the parent stopped. Now, this gentleman made the catch, and then he gives the ball to this little girl. Here you go. Enjoy. She goes, oh, I'll enjoy. Wow. Kids do the darndest things. Here's Mark Reynolds. You know, about that 95 playoffs, it started at Yankee Stadium. Game 1 was at Yankee Stadium. And, you know, I've had the opportunity to be behind the mic for this whole run, the World Series and everything. Never, ever, ever have I heard the stadium louder than those two games, especially when Mattingly came out to run sprints before the game, and the place was jammed an hour before the game, and the place started to shake just for Don Mattingly. Just even talking about it, you get goosebumps. It was an amazing, amazing 2 games. Yankees won those 2, and then they went to Seattle and lost all 3.
How about when he hit the home run to right field? Place went berserk.
Up for grabs.
Yeah.
Up for grabs. You thought the old place was going to fall down.
And I was lucky enough to have Mattingly as a hitting instructor for a little bit, and he talked about that year how he developed a leg kick. You know, his back was bothering him before that, and then developed a leg kick, and all of a sudden his power came back, and he did not disappoint in the postseason.
And then just flying home from Seattle with the team after that Game 5 crusher in Seattle. And the entire team was crying, hugging Don Mattingly. They felt that was it. Mattingly was going to retire. And that was that whole postseason was about their captain. That let's get him to the show. Two. And here's that home run you're talking about.
This one by Mattingly. Oh, hang on to the roof. Goodbye, home run.
And that call was by Gary Thorne, and it was such a great call because it was really hold on to the roof. And Gary's in the next booth next door, does the Oriole games. He did not like it. There's Gary alongside Jim Palmer. That series, though, and the Mariners making that run to get into the postseason, many people in Seattle think it saved baseball in the Pacific Northwest. It got Safeco Field built, and now they're a very sturdy franchise. The 3-2. Mattingly, who's now doing a great job with the red-hot Dodgers, 14 big league seasons, won the MVP in '85, 6-time All-Star, 9 Gold Gloves. And it was yesterday was the anniversary of his number 23 retire back in 1997. There it is. The 3-2. And Mark Reynolds works away. And here's Nunez. Nunez has missed 3 games with that sore right knee he suffered in Toronto. His spike caught a seam and he went down. He feared the worst. He said, quote, he thought his knee was broken. But they took an MRI and that assured him that it was just a sprain. Good strike. Games, and he's done a nice job during that run. Oh, 2.
Watch Chen and the way he pitches. And Mark Reynolds had a good at bat working a walk, but he had a lot of good swings at that fastball, but just not able to center it and put it in play. Same thing with Nunez right there. A good swing and a foul ball. This tells you that fastball has a little bit of life, a little hop when it gets to home plate.
Skied the other way, and it is a fair ball. It bounces into the corner. Reynolds hustling to third. They're going to hold him right there. It's a double for Nunez. And the Yankees have runners on second and third with one man out.
Well, we talked about Chen at the beginning of the game and all the fastballs that he likes to throw 68% of the time, and he just came right at Nunez. Fastball after fastball after fastball, and he finally gets one that he can slap the other way. Markakis gets it in. Reynolds has to hold up at third base. Slicing down the line. Yankees another opportunity here for Chris Stewart. One out.
Now the Orioles are going to bring the infield in on the right side. Reynolds does not have great speed, so they have to go all the way into the grass. And now they bring it in halfway on the left side as well. One and 0.
It'll be interesting to see what Reynolds is going to do on third base. If he's going on contact, he's going to make the ball get through with the infield playing halfway.
Stewart is 0 for his last 17, so if you believe him due.
How about the possibility of a safety squeeze or a suicide squeeze? And, you know, managers look at matchups and pitchers. Chen throws a lot of fastballs. He's around the plate. Pretty easy guy to try to lay down a bunt if Joe Girardi decides to go that route.
2-0. Now Joe's taking a hold in the bat and a ball.
That's Derek Jeter's bat, and he's looking for a little luck. Sometimes he'll give it to people to put a hit in there for him.
John Stewart can hit a fastball. Would you roll the dice here and green light him?
You know what? I probably would rather him take here. You got Brett Gardner on deck, who's 2 for 2. Stewart not going real well right now offensively.
And he walked him. So Stewart takes ball 4, and that's going to bring up Gardner, who has 2 doubles. Bill Castro, the pitching coach, comes out. We'll talk with Wei and Chen. MLB.TV is celebrating 11 years Join the millions of fans and subscribe today. Watch every out-of-market game live online on your favorite mobile and connected devices in HD quality with MLB.TV Premium. Visit MLB.TV today. MLB.TV, baseball everywhere.
Bill Castro, a pitching coach, goes out there to talk to his left-hander. I'm sure part of the conversation. Brett Gardner 2 for 2, a couple of doubles, and he's pulled both of those baseballs and those at bats. And the other part of the conversation, Gardner going to be tough to double up. See how the Baltimore defense sets up.
Well, they're going to back up at short and second. In at the corners, although not all the way back. Chan deals. 1-0. Great numbers for Gardner with the bases loaded with 1 grand slam.
Gardner has been really quick the first 2 at bats, able to get to the fastballs in and pull them.
No place to put him.
Well, if you want your shot at your second grand slam, this would be the count right here. Keep that same approach, quick hands, looking for a ball middle in.
3-0. Out of the zone. Mark Reynolds scores and the Yankees lead 2-0. He now has 5 walks in this game, and that's a career high.
Well, this is coming off a rough outing his last time out against Boston. Only 3 2/3, shortest outing of his career. Struggling with location today.
3 walks in this inning. It started with the walk to Reynolds.
Derek Jeter taking here 8 straight pitches out of the strike zone. We know how aggressive Derek is at the plate.
And finally a strike. We saw him yesterday. Gosman's up again. One grand slam for Derek in his career. Came against the Cubs. That was in 2005, June. Line to right field. Catch is made by Marquez. Tagging is Nunez. He's going to score. Sac fly for Jeter. A 3-0 Yankee lead. With that RBI, breaks a tie with Bernie Williams. Now 6th place on the Yankees all-time RBI list.
Nice job of situational hitting by Derek. Just make sure you don't hit the ball on the ground. Get the ball up in the air. Fastball out over the plate gets the job done.
Here's Cano. Struck out and grounded to first. Foul back the fastball. .30 pitches this inning. 80 overall.
With as good as Robinson Cano has been lately, to see him foul off some of these fastballs is surprising. 5 walks for Chen, but you can see why he's successful. Has a lot of life on the fastball. Even Robinson Cano getting good pitches to hit, fouling them off, and he's a little bit late.
Chen does not seem as if he's that energized to throw this baseball. Strike 3, Cano down looking. But the Yankees add 2 runs. On just 1 hit, 3 walks. We go to the 5th, it's 3-0 Yanks. So the Pirates have a 1-game lead. They took the first 2 games of the series against the Cardinals, and the Reds are right there as well. Also surprised to see Michael Young go to the Dodgers. So National League team starting to tighten it up. There's a strike to J.J. Hardy. The Yankees lead 3-0 here at the stadium as they try to sweep the Baltimore Orioles. Line drive at A-Rod, 1 away.
Hardy with those hands held low, able to get to a fastball in. A soft line drive right at Alex Rodriguez. Yes, Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. A good look there.
Brian Roberts steps up. Will always have a part of Yankee history. He grounded into the final out in the history of the old Yankee Stadium. September 21st, 2008.
Good to see him back on the field battling all those injuries the last couple of years.
Concussions really wreaked havoc with his career. Just had a hard time getting clarity, and every time he tried to get back, something would seem to set him back. The 1-2. 2-2.
Andy Pettitte on a nice little stretch now. His last time out, 7 shutout innings against Toronto. And the same thing this afternoon in Baltimore.
Grounded A-Rod, backhand, sets, fires, got it. The Yankees have a big 3-game set coming up with the White Sox here at the stadium. And it'll be Quintana against Hughes tomorrow. Hughes was supposed to pitch today, but they skipped him and had Andy Pettitte pitch on normal rest, so he'll start tomorrow. Then what a pitching matchup on Tuesday. Chris Sale against Hiroki Kuroda. And then Wednesday, Hector Santiago against CC Sabathia. So the Yankees will face 3 lefties against the White Sox. And then, oh, by the way, the Red Sox come into town for a 4-game set. Nick Markakis takes outside. One and one. Orioles lost 2 of 3 to the Red Sox before coming here to the stadium. And now they'll move on to Cleveland after this. That one is served into left field. Soriano is there. And a strong 5 innings for Andy Pettitte as he retires the Orioles in order. But halfway through, it's 3-0 Yanks. medicine. This is big in the American League. Miguel Cabrera not in the starting lineup for the second straight game with a abdominal injury. And you miss him when he's not in the lineup. 358, 43 home runs, 130 runs batted in. And that's an injury that's been bothering him for most of the year, but now it's gotten to the point where they have not had him in the starting lineup for 2 straight games. All right, so we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Buck Showalter makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. And Kevin Gausman comes on in relief of Wei-Yin Chen.
See the numbers on the year, they don't tell the whole story. A young man who throws extremely hard, about 98 miles an hour, still working on his secondary pitches. He's had some starts this year, 5 of them, now pitching out of the bullpen.
Here's Soriano. He walked in the first and then got the first run on the board with an RBI single to center in the 3rd. 0-1. He throws 98 miles an hour, but he started him off with an 84 mile an hour splitter. And Soriano way out in front. Oh, 0-2. .22 years old. And he was the first-round pick of the Orioles in the 2012 draft. 4th player taken overall.
Well, it doesn't take long to fly through a minor league system when you throw 98 miles an hour.
Gets him there on the breaking ball, 1 away.
It's a good combination when you throw that hard and then you can drop a split at about 84, 85. Soriano not able to recognize it out of his hand and swings right over the top.
Gausman's final season with LSU, 11-1, 2.72. 128 strikeouts and 115 and 2/3 innings. Coming out of high school, he was selected by the Dodgers in the 6th round, but elected to go to LSU. And actually, the 3rd pitcher the Orioles have selected out of LSU, Mike Fontenot in 2001, and then Ben McDonald in 1989. A-Rod pops it up. Leaders gives it a look, but that makes the seats. .97 on the outside corner, 2-2. Orioles had a setback. Their other big-time prospect in the minors, Dylan Bundy, ended up having to have surgery. And John, everybody that you spoke to said can't miss. I mean, no doubt about it. He makes it to the big leagues, he's going to be an absolute star. So his career trajectory set back a bit. I believe he's had Tommy John surgery. And it was interesting. Bill Madden had a story where he talked to Tom Seaver, and you see how good Dylan Bundy was expected to be. And Bill Madden of the Daily News spoke with Seaver, and he said they got to stop babying pitchers. They just have to. He said the more you pitch, the less injured you'll be. He said, look at everything that we did on our Mets staff back in the 60s. We all threw a lot, and we didn't get hurt. Nolan Ryan was on that staff, and He said the Mets handled Matt Harvey very well. They did not overtax him, and he still got hurt. He said, if you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hurt.
Well, that's an old school approach for Tom Seaver, obviously. But, you know, there's part of it that the arm is not designed to throw 98, 99 miles an hour.
Grounded to short. 2 outs.
I mean, how many times do you hear scouts say this guy's got perfect mechanics, too? You know, he's not going to get hurt. It's just part of the deal when you're a pitcher and you throw that hard, put that much torque on your arm and your elbow. Eventually, something's got to give.
And that was the big mystery with Harvey, because when you talk to scouts, they said he had the perfect delivery, that he shouldn't get hurt. And then when you talk to other scouts, they looked at Steven Strasburg and said he will get hurt.
Yep.
So I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason. It's an inexact science.
Mark Pryor.
Yep. Curtis Granderson pinch hitting for Vernon Wells. Pitch inside. We're in the bottom of the 5th. It's 3-0 Yanks. 1-1. Here with the Yankees, we saw the Jabba rules, and they were enforced so that he wouldn't get hurt, and he ends up having to have Tommy John surgery. One thing I've always wondered, John, I can't believe that in the 50s and 60s and the 40s, people didn't tear ligaments in their elbows. They didn't tear their rotator cuffs. They must have pitched through it out of necessity because it was one-year deals. 2-2. 3-2.
Seeing the careers now extended with these surgeries, and Tommy John surgery especially. You're out for a year, you come back, seem to be better than ever and a little bit stronger.
And he walked him with 2 outs. Got to come to Yankee Stadium this Tuesday, September 3rd, for a special giveaway when the Yankees take on the White Sox. The first 18,000 guests in attendance will receive a Yankee sunglasses case courtesy of Dominican Republic Tourism. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or you can call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. There's Mark Reynolds. Reynolds scored a run after a walk in the 4th inning. In the 2nd, he struck out. So he's 0 for 1. Disappointing start for Wei-Yin Chen. Just 4 innings the Orioles get out of him. And they have to go to Gosman here in the 5th.
Coming off an outing against Boston where he only lasted 3 2/3. So a pitcher who's struggling at the moment for Baltimore. Mark Reynolds has had a lot of good swings today, just a little bit late with the fastball. We talked the first game of this series. Made a little adjustment, getting his foot down a little bit earlier, got rid of the double toe tap. And now just a little bit late getting that foot down. Some really good swings. Fouling off some good pitches to hit.
One and two. Done a good job since the Yankees picked him up. Great on base percentage. Swing and a miss. Reynolds down on strikes. For the Yankees in the 5th. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. We go to the 6th inning. Yankees lead 3-0. A smackdown now through September 9th, and by Benjamin Moore for everything that matters. That sky doesn't look great over Yankee Stadium right now. The scoreboard looks good if you're a Yankee fan as they go to the 6th inning. It's 3-0 Yanks. Manny Machado against Andy Pettitte. The first pitch is a breaking ball strike.
It's been relatively smooth for Andy Pettitte as Curtis Granderson moves to right field. Andy had to work a little bit in the 3rd inning. We'll see how the 6th goes. 2, 3, and 4 for Baltimore. Pitch count in really good shape at 74. Remember back to Andy's last start, only 86 pitches in 7 innings against Toronto.
Ground ball left side, grabbed there by A-Rod, and he gets Machado for the first out. I'll tell you what, A-Rod's playing 3rd better than I could think he'd play after 2 hip surgeries.
Moving to his left well, and it looked like this ball hits the lip of the grass and takes a little funny hop or maybe a little top spin. Nice play by Alex Rodriguez. Good jump. Little extension there, and then the flip over to first base. Nice play.
"13 straight scoreless innings for Andy. That's a season high." Here's Adam Jones. There's a strike. And the big question when Alex was rehabbing to come back before we knew about the suspension, which he's appealing, well, what are you going to get? Is he going to be 70% of what he was? And, you know, the very stark answer is he's going to be better than anybody else they threw out there all year. And he certainly lived up to that.
And from the physical standpoint, you know, we were seeing little videos of his rehab games, and, you know, it looked a little sluggish, not moving that well. We haven't seen any of that since he's been back. The reactions are good, movement's good. There's some bat speed. See Andy Pettitte in those scoreless inning streaks that he's on right now, and talked about it a little bit earlier. All I see, the stuff looks the same. It's just he's locating so much better, not making mistakes in the middle of the plate.
That one hits Adam Jones, and down he goes.
Andy Pettitte was at his best when he was a younger man. You'd see this all the time from right-handed hitters. Cutter in, foul ball off his left leg. You just wonder if it hit that guard or not.
Yes, it did. It still hurts, though, right, John?
It hurts, yeah. I mean, I never wore one of those guards. I never had that problem. I would always try to make contact out in front of home plate. Never really fouled a lot of pitches off of my left foot. But obviously, even with that guard, he's still in some pain.
John, you think that Buck Showalter missed the 70% humidity? Weather report today with the long sleeve black shirt on. Buck started that when he was managing the Yankees. Always wore the sweat top rather than the. It's just on opening day he would wear the white pinstripes.
A little old school with the stirrups too, huh? Showing some.
Yes, sir.
Stirrup socks.
I think you could feel very comfortable saying Buck is old school. 1-2. Pitch count is in good shape for Pettitte. 81. One out here into the 6th. Ground ball up the middle and a base hit for Jones. That's going to bring up Chris Davis.
You see Chris Stewart setting up away. They had gone in the hole at bat. Jones just gets out in front and pulls one up the middle of the field. Nunez playing him to pull a little bit more out of his reach. You see Andy a little frustrated. Ground ball just found a hole. Here's a big at bat here with Davis, who the Yankees have done a great job with this weekend. You want to continue that for 2 more at bats.
Stewart blocks it.
One for 8, 1 RBI, 3 strikeouts that kept him in the ballpark. Larry Rothschild, Joe Girardi say we may have 2 more at bats to take care of this guy and then let him go on his way and do his damage against the rest of the major leagues. Big at bat for Andy Pettitte. He's only given up 1 home run to a lefty here at Yankee Stadium this year, and it was to Chris Davis.
Sean Kelly up.
You see Sean Kelly up in that bullpen, and think back to yesterday's game and Nova going the distance, giving that bullpen a day off. Joe Girardi has some rested arms down there. Start thinking about mixing and matching here in the 6th inning.
Now, a lot of those are called from the bench. All of those throws over the first, and that's the Yankees allowing Kelly to warm up if they want to take Andy out after Davis.
Tony Pena, the bench coach, going through all those signals to Chris Stewart, who will relay them to Andy Pettitte.
This could be 2. Flip to A-Rod 1. Back to first. It's a double play. A backhanded scoop by Reynolds. A 5-3 double play turned beautifully by the Yankees. A-Rod, like he's an old shortstop, turns the deuce. And it turned A-Rod into a shortstop again, John.
And another look on Yes Mo, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. The flip to Alex Rodriguez, touches the bag, and then gets out of the way, going back to his old shortstop days. And looked pretty athletic doing it. We were talking about him playing third base and moving well. Now coming over to short to turn the double play. Nice pick on the back end by Reynolds.
And you can see, if you read his lips, it's been a long time. Remember, he has not played shortstop since coming over to the Yankees in 2003. And he got a big grin on his face and very athletically getting out of the way of the sliding Jones and getting the ball to first for the double play. Breaking the ball is high to Nunez. Chopped. And grabbed there by Hardy. He sets, but no throw. Nunez with his second hit.
Nunez chops it. It takes a big hop over the head of Machado. Backhand by Hardy, and the smart play as Nunez runs too well not to throw it across the diamond.
Now here's Chris Stewart. He walked in the fourth inning. He's 0 for 1. Now the only time that A-Rod has ever even moved over to short in his time with the Yankees, everybody remembers this game, I'm sure John does, when Jeter went diving into the stands and had to leave. A-Rod slid over from third and went to short. He's never started a game here. Who had the game winner that night when Jeter went into the stands?
Some scrub bench player, last guy on the bench. Had to throw him up there. Night Derek went into the stands, made that great play, I think on a Trot Nixon pop-up down the line. From Tanyan Sturt, split finger fastball. Great night.
Bunted foul, count 0-2.
Chris Stewart trying to get the sacrifice bunt down. Not easy against a pitcher who throws as hard as Gausman does.
foul. Take a look at Derek going into the stands.
Full speed.
What a game. The twists and turns. One and two. Remember this, John?
3-1 cutter. Curtis Leskanic. Miguel Cairo, the big hit before that, driving in Ruben Sierra to tie it up. That last inning started out with 2 easy outs, too.
Chopped slowly to third. Machado gets Stewart as Nunez moves to second.
Kind of waiting for Nunez maybe to take a shot to steal second base there, but coming back from that knee twist up in Toronto, probably not running 100%.
Nice day for Gardner. A couple of doubles, a run scored. He walked with the bases loaded, pick up a ribby. And he has a chance to give the Yankees a 4-0 lead. Fouled away.
Watching how Baltimore is set up defensively, Adam Jones really plays a shallow center field. Tough for Nunez to score if there's a base hit right back up the middle.
The 0-2. Fly ball shallow center. Jones is right there to make the play for the second out. Here's Derek Jeter. The DH today had a sac fly in the Yankees' 2-run fourth inning. First inning he grounded to second, and the third inning he struck out. Each team with 5 hits. Yankees lead 3-0 as they're looking for the 3-game sweep over Baltimore. Now, Joe has said before that he thought the Yankees had to get to 93 wins for a playoff spot. You know, that's certainly debatable whether or not it might be 91, might be 92. But I asked him yesterday after the game, how many games do you think you have to win in September? And he just smiled. He said, a lot. Doesn't want to commit to a number now, but he did say 93 about three weeks ago.
just changes so quickly. You know, you win a couple of games, another team loses a couple of games, you find yourself right where you need to be. It's the remaining schedule.
Have a 4-game set against the Orioles in Baltimore, 4 against the Red Sox, here 3 at Fenway. 3 against the Rays, 3 against the Blue Jays, White Sox, Giants, and Astros. And their remaining opponents' winning percentage is .475. Jeter swings and misses to end the inning. No runs are hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We're going to the 7th inning with the Yankees leading Baltimore 3-0 here on Yes. Basketball coach Pat Summitt, escorted by her son Tyler, as the Yankees started off Alzheimer Awareness Month here at Yankee Stadium. And if you've ever had anybody close to you in your family, a friend, go through this insidious disease, this is something that has to be eradicated, and that's what Alzheimer's Awareness Month is all about. So the Yankees started off with a pregame ceremony. Michael Morris leads off the 7th inning, takes a pitch low and inside, 1-0. Yankees lead this one 3-0. On the Cadillac scoreboard. Count 1-1. Francisco Rodriguez. You watch Pettit on the mound, John, and you realize 5 or 6 starts ago how he was pitching. And he really looked like he might be done. And you just wonder, how did it all turn around? He's pitching so beautifully today, and his 3-0 in his previous 3 starts.
Well, it just shows you how quickly you can change your year, and if you're the Yankees, you're hoping that happens for Sabathia. Kuroda has been so great all year until recently. He's been struggling. But like I said earlier, I watch Andy and his stuff now. Yeah, the cutter may be a little bit better than it was during that rough stretch, but really it's all about location. Putting the ball where he wanted to. Right there, a perfect example with Morse. He misses the middle of the plate and it gets hit hard.
Valencia takes a strike.
And you can look back over this game, 90 pitches now, and I can think of maybe 3 where he really missed where he wanted to throw the ball. Andy Pettit will take his chances if he has that type of control every game.
Quickly 0-2.
I'm talking back-to-back days against a Baltimore lineup that leads the league in home runs. Offense has not been their problem. It's Logan and Kelly getting loose now. Von Nova shut them down yesterday. Andy Pettit doing the same this afternoon.
Just missed inside. Line to left field. It's a base hit in front of Soriano. So back-to-back singles to open up the seventh. First and second, nobody out for the O's, and that'll bring up Wieters. And that will likely do it for Andy Pettit. Joe Girardi quickly out of the dugout. He's looked out there. Now he's signaling for Sean Kelly. So Andy's going to get a very nice hand from the crowd. Tomorrow, Labor Day, it's a 105 start. Note that it's on Yes. Then 2 night games, and then the Red Sox coming to town. Thursday and Friday night on Yes. Saturday, a 105 start on Fox, but Yankees extra innings after that right here on Yes. And then Sunday it finishes up with a 105 game on Yes. Yankees hit the road after that. 4 games against the Orioles and 3 at Fenway against the Red Sox. Doesn't get any easier. Andy Pettit gives the Yankees 6 plus 2 batters and now becomes a spectator. That's his line. The runner's on base, his responsibility. And here's Matt Wieters against Sean Kelly. Popped up and out of play.
Well, Sean Kelly pitched the first game of this series, 2/3 of an inning, gave up a hit. 52nd game. Matt Wieters happy to get Andy Pettit out of the game. Andy only had 3 strikeouts, 2 of them against Wieters. Struggling a little bit lately, but with those 19 home runs, he can change this game with 1 swing of the bat.
And that one is laced into left center field. It's a base hit. Grabbed there by Gardner. 1 run will score. The throw comes into second. An RBI single for Wieters. And the Orioles are on the board. It's 3-1 Yankees. Now Baltimore with runners on the corners and nobody out.
Wieters struck out 2 times from the right side. Now he moves over to hit left-handed and a fastball out over the plate. Drives it to the gap. Morse didn't get a great jump off of second base. Ball actually bounces back towards center field. Brett Gardner, a nice play to keep it in front and hold Wieters to a single. Morse a little confused on if that ball was going to find some grass, and it did, and scores.
Here's J.J. Hardy. And that one is driven out to right field. Backing up Granderson on the run on the track at the wall. And it's a home run. Stayed on the top of the wall for a 3-run home run for J.J. Hardy. And all of Andy Pettit's good work down the drain as the Orioles now lead 4-3.
Wow, how quickly things can change. Joe Girardi cannot believe it. A great afternoon by Andy Pettit. It all changes quickly here in the 7th. Granderson going back, hits the wall, and it just clears the fence.
The ball rolling on the top of the wall would not come down onto the field. It did hit a fan right there, but it stayed on top of the wall for a 3-run home run, and Joe goes to the bullpen again.
We'll take a look at Curtis Granderson going back and how it sits on top of the wall. Another look at Curtis Granderson crashing into the wall just off his glove, it looked like, was not able to hold on. Makes you think of another home run as we look back. Kevin Youkilis, Red Sox days, Johnny Damon coming right into your living room, and the ball just sits right on top of the wall. Ends up coming back into the field to play.
And the fan had to point out where the ball was. So now it's 4-3 Orioles, and the Yankees will have to play catch up as Boone Logan comes in, taking over for Sean Kelly. And there's a strike to Brian Roberts.
And just like Sean Kelly, Boone Logan worked the first game of the series as well. Retired the only batter that he faced.
Down 1-1.
Bullpen for the Yankees has been so good lately. Shocking 7th inning, and it all happened so quickly.
Since August 16th, the best bullpen ERA in baseball. Bunted. It stays fair. It's a base hit. It's a base hit for Roberts. First lead surrendered by a Yankee reliever since August 11th. In fact, to go deeper, the only team that has surrendered fewer leads or leads in Major League Baseball is Texas. They've surrendered 8 leads. The Orioles have surrendered 24 leads. The Cubs lead baseball with 29.
We've seen it all in this inning. 3 consecutive base hits, a 3-run home run, and now a bunt base hit by Roberts as Jabba Chamberlain getting loose. Brian Roberts at first base when he was younger and healthy. He was always a threat to run. These days he has 3 stolen bases, has been thrown out once.
Snap throw to first. Roberts just gets back.
Take a look at the pitches inside to the lefty. An easy pitch for Stewart to pivot on his back foot and fire to first base. An accurate throw. Roberts just gets back in time.
Two and one. Markakis, fly ball to center, left, popped up to second. He goes around there, and the count 2-2. Couldn't hold up on the breaking ball.
Good look at Roberts there, getting a little antsy at first base, maybe thinking about stealing a bag. Looked like he would have had a pretty good jump off of Boone Logan, but he decided to stay put. He's got him timed, his delivery. Looks like he's thinking about it and then decides against it.
Fouled away.
Markakis hanging in there against some pretty good pitches. Fastball slider combination. Bottom of the order got it done for Baltimore here so far, and now the Yankees are going to have to navigate through the top and the middle of the lineup. Nobody out here in the 7th.
And the count now 3-2. Great pitching performance yesterday by Nova. 6 innings of brilliance by Pettit. And then this. 4 runs in, still nobody out in the top of the 7th. Just got a piece to stay alive. Waved at that breaking ball.
Surprised Brian Roberts not running there at 3-2 count. Markakis. Wayne Kirby, the first base coach, has a few words for him. We'll see if he's running on this one. for Stewart behind the plate, thinking strike him out, throw him out. How about your pitching staff here?
And Markakis works a walk, putting runners on first and second, nobody out. And it looks like Joe is going to go to the bullpen and bring in Chamberlain. Still no signal. We got Machado and then Jones. Two right-handed batters. So that'll do it for Logan. And now Chamberlain comes on to face Machado. Official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. Well, we have not seen Chamberlain in such a high leverage spot as this in a long time. He's been pitching much better of late. He's retired his last 15 batters. He has the average or the ERA down to 4.21, but this is a very, very big spot.
Here you go, first and second. 2, 3, and 4 for Baltimore. Machado, Jones, and Davis. You're right, Job have been throwing the ball much better lately. Andy Pettit can only watch.
So you've got Roberts at second and Markakis at first. Still nobody out. We're on the top of the 7th inning, and the Orioles lead 4-3. Yankees still have 3 more at bats coming up, a 1-run deficit. Obviously, nothing. But Job has to do his job here to keep it at this spot. And it also tells you what a difference a day makes. I mean, you might see Preston Claiborne here right now if they were allowed to bring him up today.
Yep.
But they're not allowed to bring him up till his minor league season ends because they sent him down before 10 days ago. And there was no injury to bring him up, so this is Jabba's ball right here. And Machado pops it up. 1 big out.
That is a gift right there by Machado. Buck Showalter looking on.
John, why?
Playing a little small ball. I don't understand it from a guy who's been swinging a good bat lately, driving in a lot more runs. Their best hitter with runners in scoring position.
Yep.
And you ask him to bunt and he pops up. Either way, the Yankees, that is a gift and they will take it. Wow.
You wonder if it was a 21-year-old or the guy in sunglasses. There's Adam Jones. Slider is high, count 1-0.
Little momentum shift right there, too, with that failed bunt attempt. Everything had been going Baltimore's way this inning. Yankees catch a break as Rodriguez still getting loose.
Slider for strike, 1-1. Jones took a long walk. Did not agree with that call by Jeff Kellogg. Driven deep into center field. Gardner back, still back on the track at the wall. See ya! A 3-run home run for Jones. And now the Orioles lead 7-3.
Adam Jones just picked up Machado and the rest of the Baltimore teammates with a bomb to center field. Dead center. Slider that just spins right in the middle of the plate. He knew he made good contact. The only question whether it would hit off the wall. It does not. Right above it. 408. Big 3-run shot.
You know, it was weird, John. The first 2 pitches of that bat were both hanging sliders.
Yeah, went 3 in a row.
I mean, the first 2 just spun up there, so I guess he tried 3 times the charm, and then again, that hung up with no bite.
It's not a good slider right there either. Davis, and you see the pitch, it spins. Jaba's head goes straight down. I did notice him before that pitch kind of doing something mechanically to remind himself, I think, to stay on his back leg a little bit longer. Not able to execute, he pays the price.
Grounded foul, 2-2.
It's a stunned Yankee dugout. Trying to figure out what's happening here. 7 runs in the inning. Still just 1 out.
Singles by Morse and Valencia against Andy. 93 pitches, and Jordy said, let's go to the bullpen. And it hasn't been good. Kelly had allowed only 2 inherited base runners to score all year, and he let both of Andy score. As Davis down on strikes. Well, they've certainly handled him. But this inning has been a nightmare as 7 have scored. And it started with Michael Morse's single.
Michael, we both know Andy Pettit. I'm sure he's in that dugout beating himself up on that pitch to Morse, which started this rally. It was a cookie right over the plate. He hammered it center field, a little left to center field. It's been all downhill since that at bat.
'28th home run for Jones, and now has 98 runs batted in. One and one.
Jaba throwing everything out over the plate to Morse. A couple of sliders, fastball out over the plate. He likes to get his arms extended, plenty of power.
Knobbed up the first baseline. Grounded to first. Tough hop there for Reynolds, who makes the play to retire Morse. But a disaster seventh inning for the Yankees. Their bullpen implodes. The Orioles score 7 runs. And it's time for the 7th inning stretch with Baltimore up 7-3, but we'll stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Please direct your attention to the area behind home plate. And welcome to honored guests of the New York Yankees. United States Army Staff Sergeant Christian Hughes, who served in Operation Enduring Freedom and is a Purple Heart recipient. And United States Army Captain Neil Markey, who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. Now, please join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Look at the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. It's 7-3 Orioles after the 7-run top of the 7th. Gardner, 2 doubles. Uribia, a run scored. Pettit, 6 innings pitched, 7 hits, 2 runs. Didn't walk a batter, and 3 strikeouts. Hardy and Jones, each with a 3-run home run, and those were the dagger blows in the 7th inning. And here's the summary of the top of the 7th inning. 7 runs. 6 hits, 2 home runs, 10 batters faced. Yankees had 4 pitchers in there, and it took 27 minutes and 10 seconds. So now, Francisco Rodriguez will come in. And he will face Robinson Cano. Pitches high. Cano's probably thrilled that Wei-Yin Chen's not out there. Had a rough night of it against him, 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Here are the numbers on K-Rod.
We saw Rodriguez in Friday night's game. His last 11 games pitching to a 1.64 ERA.
Cadillac scoreboard 7-3 O's.
Let's see if the Yankees can make a little noise here at the back end of this game. Friday night when Sabathia had a tough outing offensively, they were able to pick him up. The bullpen had a tough 7th inning.
And the count 3-0. Nate McLouth has taken over in left field for Morse as Showalter tightens up his outfield defense. And a strike, 3-1. Cano, Soriano, and A-Rod. As the Yankees try to get back in this, they trail 7-3. They seemed headed for a nice, tidy, well-pitched sweep, at least the last 2 games. But now they're going to have to battle for these final 3 innings to try to make up the 4-run deficit. Driven the other way. Foul ball. So from 3-0 to full, as Cano leads off the bottom of the 7th. And the pitch. Hammered foul.
Baltimore has a good bullpen. They have O'Day down there, lefty Mattis. Tommy Hunter's had a good year. Johnson, their closer, has blown some saves.
9 to be exact. The most in baseball. Strike 3. Cano down looking. Tough afternoon for Cano. Striking out 3 times. Well, after the last out, stay here for the WB Mason postgame as Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry break down the series finale with highlights, analysis, and a look at the playoff picture. Plus, Meredith Morakovitz is in the clubhouse with the players' reaction and also Joe Girardi's manager's report. It's the WB Mason postgame. It's only on Yes. Here's Soriano. He's 1 for 2, RBI single. He also walked. And strike.
Baltimore using the shift against Soriano. 3 infielders on the left side of the diamond.
Grounded softly to third. Barehanded by Machado. Oh, what a play. And a great stretch by Davis. The only way he makes that play is barehanding it, and he did, and a great stretch by Davis for the second out.
Well, we talked about it, that this kid makes some highlight plays at third base. Bare hand, the strong throw, and a great stretch by Davis, keeping his foot on the bag and avoiding contact with Soriano. That's the first thing Machado did, was acknowledge Chris Davis, and a great play around the bag. Come up barehanded, you hope you have a decent grip, and he does right there, and a strong throw.
Here's A-Rod. And there's a breaking ball strike. Another look. Davis does keep his foot on the bag.
Not an easy play. You have to stretch towards the field to stay out of the way of Soriano coming down the line.
1-1. The Yankee bullpen had been so shut down since the middle of August. Best ERA in baseball. They give it up in the top of the seventh, and Java, as we mentioned, had looked better. He had held the opponent's hit list in their last 15 at-bats, but John, there's something to be said for higher leverage situations, and Java did not perform well there at all.
Well, and you thought he was going to catch a little bit of a break when Machado popped up the bunt, but 3 sliders, and the last one, Adam Jones, a cement mixer right in the middle of the plate.
The 1-2. 2-2.
Fastball tries to come back and clip the corner. Wieters tries to give Jeff Kellogg, home plate umpire, a good look. Doesn't get the call.
Swing and a miss. K-Rod strikes out A-Rod, and the Yankees go down in order 1-2-3. We're going to the 8th inning. Baltimore 7, Yankees 3. Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. Jose Quintana, 7-4, 3.66 against Phil Hughes, 4-13 with a 4.91. Our coverage is going to start at noon with the BP show, 12:30. Our pregame, and the Labor Day game will start first pitch right around 1:07. Yankees will try to get back at the White Sox for sweeping them in a 3-game set. You see Machado and Davis, who connected for that unbelievable play on Soriano, hugging it out as they get to the dugout. Yankees keep Java out there as we start the 8th inning. Danny Valencia will start it off. That was the last batter that Andy Pettit faced. Gave up a single left. All right, last 15 games. First 14, 42 2/3, 5 earned runs, and 1 inning today, 5 earned runs. Hyundai scoreboard 7-3 Baltimore. And you know, John, after the game, Girardi's going to have to answer the question, and that's why it's tough to be a manager anywhere, not just New York. Tommy Hunter warming up. Why didn't you leave Andy Pettitte in? And if they had left Andy Pettitte in with 93 pitches and then he gave up a home run, well, why did you go to the bullpen?
Right.
So that's the question: is why did you take him out at that point? And I guess he thought he was tired.
Well, we've just been showing all of the numbers. The bullpen has been so good lately. It's a strength of your club. If you're Joe Girardi and you're told you're going to get 6 shutout innings from Andy Pettitte, gets into the 7th, gives up a couple of hits, you'll sign up every day, go to your bullpen. Guys just did not have a good day in the 7th inning.
No one complained when he took out CC Sabat. They had 2 outs into the 6th inning, and then every single move worked. Every single pitcher did his job. This time, Sean Kelly, who's pitching more innings and more games than he ever has, starting to fatigue. He gives up the big home run, and then Jabba just puts the icing on the bad cake. The 2-2.
It's tough to get on the bullpen. They've been so good lately and had a bad 7th inning, but every game at this point is so important. And when you get a start like that from Andy Pettitte, you feel like you have to win that ball game. They got a couple innings left to show us if they can do it.
Three-two. Strike 3. Got him on the breaking ball. Valencia down looking.
Well, Valencia gets a start against the left-hander Andy Pettitte, now facing the righty Jabba Chamberlain. Another slider. Pretty much middle of the plate, just locked him up.
The real killer hit to me, John, was the one that Wieters greeted Sean Kelly with a single. Wieters has almost been an automatic out this entire series. There's a ground ball short, backhanded by Nunez. 2 outs.
In that situation, first and second, nobody out. You're thinking about a double play ground ball just like that right there. The Jabba got the ground ball to short. Fortunately for Kelly, it was a base hit the other way and an RBI.
And that's where you can make the argument, John. Well, why not let Pettitte work to Wieters? Because Wieters had looked so bad against him with 2 strikeouts. And that's what he's obviously going to have to explain after the game if the Yankees don't come back. I remember something that Don Mattingly told me when the Yankees were in L.A. He said, there's nothing worse being a manager, making all the right moves, and then you guys in the bullpen don't do the job. Then you're wrong. Not that they didn't do a good job. You're wrong for bringing them in. Grounded right side. Grabbed there by Cano. And he gets Hardy. And that's a 1-2-3 inning for Jabba against the Orioles. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees trail this one 7-3. booking in the form of a truck, visit gmc.com for details. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Orioles lead this one 7-3. Here's the wild card situation coming into today. So if the Orioles hold off the Yankees, they will jump back ahead of them. And the Indians now lead the Tigers 4-0. And Chris Perez is on the try to close that out. And just like that, the Yankees would have to jump over the Orioles and the Indians today. That's how much each game is worth right now. New Baltimore pitcher Tommy Hunter.
It's the first time we've seen him in this series having a good year, 2.67 ERA. Chris Davis gets a lot of the attention with that trade coming from Texas. Tommy Hunter also in that deal.
And the incredible thing about that deal, it was Koji Uehara, you see the Hyundai scoreboard, for Hunter and Davis. And it was essentially Uehara for Hunter. And Davis was a throw-in. As Granderson down on strikes. And you could see Hunter kind of a failed starter, John. But as a reliever, he rears back. He throws 97, 98. He's been much better coming out of the bullpen.
Well, you simplify it. You say, okay, what are my 2 best pitches? And I'm going to be aggressive. I'm going to use them. And I'm just going to let it eat in one inning, instead of trying to navigate a lineup a couple of times. And it's worked out well for Hunter here in Baltimore. Fastball velocity has gotten noticeably better with that transition.
Lyle Overbay pinch hits for Mark Reynolds.
You know, the first name I think about, Michael, with that transition was Phil Hughes when he was so good pitching out of the bullpen. And his velocity got noticeably better.
David Huff up to the Yanks. Line drive, base hit, pinch hit single for Overbay. To vote for the Chevy Player of the Game, visit votechevy.com. Results are going to be revealed in the postgame show.
Well, Overbay picks up a pinch hit base hit. Got the start yesterday when Alex Rodriguez was a late scratch. Picked up a couple of hits in that game. Maybe finding a stroke again. Has been struggling a little bit lately.
Nunez is 2 for 3 today. Ichiro comes out on deck to pinch hit for Chris Stewart. High fly ball, right field. Markakis settling underneath for the second out. Ichiro to pinch it for Stewart. Stewart was 0 for 2 with a walk. He's now hitless in his last 18 at-bats.
Well, Ichiro gets an at-bat to a big round of applause from the Yankee crowd. Interested to see who Joe Girardi puts behind the plate. Does he give the kid Murphy his first day in the big leagues a couple of innings or an inning? Does he go with Austin Romine?
Well, with Huff warming up, Murphy's familiar with him, so that might be an easier transition. And a strike to Ichiro. He's hit very well here at home. Count 0-2. Grounded. And a diving stop by Machado, no play. A base hit for Ichiro.
We've seen a lot of these hits from Ichiro during the course of his career. When he was a younger man, he would just slap it. If it wasn't hit right at an infielder, he always had a chance for an infield hit. Machado lays out. His only play would have been to come up and deliver to second base with Overbay running. Was not able to do that. Infield hit for Ichiro.
Big spot here for Gardner as the Yankees try to get back in this game. Gardner 2 for 3 with a ribby. One 1-0. He has 1 home run against Hunter and 11 at bats. That's the only hit he's managed against the righty.
And if you're pitching to the scoreboard, a 4-run lead for Baltimore, Tommy Hunter should be keeping everything away to Brett Gardner, make him hit the ball to the big part of the ballpark.
The 2-0. Driven out to left field. McLeod back. And he'll make the play for the final out. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We go to the 9th inning at the stadium. Orioles up by 4. For the cure to save the lives of their fans and employees from prostate cancer. And prior to and during Tuesday's 7:05 game against the White Sox, men over the age of 40 can visit the area on the main level concourse behind home plate. That's on the 200 level, everybody, where doctors and nurses from St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital Center will be standing by to administer PSA blood tests. Those fans will have the option of continuing on to the first aid room across the hall to take even further tests, which would be a highly accurate marker for the disease. Austin Romine will take over behind the plate, and a new pitcher for the Yankees is the left-hander, David Huff. Lyle Overbay takes over at first.
It's been a while since we've seen David Huff. Pitched in Monday's game in Toronto.
All right, so Cleveland did win that game over the Tigers, so they avoid a sweep. Roberts grounds one to first. Overbay drops it, then flips to Huff for the first out. And Baltimore's going to face Cleveland tomorrow, so one of those teams going to be losing. So you're in a situation where not too many games separate. You're going to have to jumping over people that are 3 or 4 games ahead of you. It's going to be an interesting September. But this will resonate as a tough loss if the Yankees lose.
If they don't able to come back, this is going to be a tough loss. See Darren O'Day getting loose. Now, I'm interested to see the Yankees and how they perform against the White Sox. The White Sox come in here with nothing to lose, everything to gain, play the role of the spoiler. And I've been on plenty of teams that were in last place. The month of September is long. You have nothing to play for. You're able to knock a team off. Gives you a little something to look forward to.
John, the rest of the way on the Yankees schedule, they have a series against Toronto. They have a series against Chicago. They finished the season in Houston against the Astros. Those are 3 last-place teams. You can't lose games.
Dellin Betances getting loose. You can't lose games, but it's so easy to say, oh, well, you know, you're a playoff caliber team against a second division club. You should walk out there and get the job done. It's not that easy. There's more pressure on the winning teams that they feel like they have to go out there and win. They're expected to win. Other club has nothing to lose.
Markakis with a high pop-up, and Romine makes the play.
Well, it's a lot easier play for Alex Rodriguez coming in than it is for Austin Romine going out to the field, but Austin able to hang in there and make the play. Waiting for Alex to call him off. He does not. Romine makes the play.
Well, it's well documented. Alex is uncomfortable catching pop-up, so Romine took it and Alex let him. So that's going to do it for Huff. They're going to call on the hard-throwing right-hander Dellin Betances to face Manny Machado. 7-3 Orioles. Tri Honda dealers, hurry to your local Tri Honda dealer for great deals on the 2013 models. By Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by the Experience Buick lease, it's a new lease on luxury. Dellin Betances, kid from New York City, converted into a reliever down at AAA after 6 really bad starts, and he really impressed people as a reliever. 108 strikeouts in 84 innings. He can throw.
Well, he's got a good arm. The only question, can he throw it over the plate consistently? Much better results out of the bullpen.
.95 upstairs. Fouled away. Breaking ball. Machado kind of had the knee buckle, but count now 2-1.
It's always a challenge when a pitcher is tall, a lot of moving parts. Tough to keep those mechanics together and consistent. Good pitch there. This little slider down and away in a fastball count.
And the 2-2. 97-mile-an-hour fastball punts through the infield for a single. Yankees going to have to make a decision on Betances for next year. They are out of options. So he either sticks with the 25-man roster or they risk losing him. And if you throw that hard, John, they would lose him.
They would definitely lose him. I mean, a hard thrower with a good slider. And, you know, you worried, did he figure it out in AAA? I mean, is this the beginning of a guy it's all coming together? Obviously, the month of September, they would love to get a look at him, but when you're fighting for a playoff spot, those opportunities are probably going to be few and far in between.
Breaking ball looks good. Drops it in there for a strike on Jones.
That at bat to Machado. I mean, it eventually ended up as a base hit, but Betances all around the strike zone. That's the bottom line. If he can pitch around and in the strike zone, his stuff is good enough.
Really nice kid, very soft-spoken, very, very polite. You know, he's had some fits and starts up here where he loses the plate, but his stuff gets your attention. The 0-2. Grounded foul. And he said that as a starter, you know, because he's so tall, and John said a lot of moving parts that you have to get working. As a starter, he just wasn't on the mound enough to repeat his delivery, but as a reliever, he was out there a lot and threw a lot, and that's how you work on keeping everything together. So maybe he found something. The 0-2.
We saw 3 swings right there from Adam Jones, who hit that long home run to center field. 3 bad swings off of Betances. Waved at a fastball, lunging and leaning on 2 sliders. It tells you his stuff making an all-star hitter look bad in this at bat. See if he can finish him off.
The 0-2. Still 0-2.
There are different steps for young pitchers when they make it to the big leagues. Can you prove that your stuff is good enough? Can you throw the ball over the plate when you need to? The next level, can you pitch inside on right-handed batters? Everything we've seen from Betances has been away. It's a breaking ball that actually backed up inside. It was supposed to be away.
Orioles 7, Yankees 3. Top of the 9th inning. Runner on first, 2 outs. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. Adam Jones did not seem comfortable in that at bat. No runs a hit. 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Can the Yankees rally?
TV Nation presents the Joe Girardi Show. Then, later on Yankees on Deck, get a behind-the-scenes look at the Yes broadcast booth here at the stadium. It's all later today after the postgame. It's only on Yes. And here's Darren O'Day. His numbers are impressive. John, we talk about how this is an important game for the Yankees, but sometimes you just look at it through that pinstripe prism, and you don't realize that this was a must-win for the Orioles, where they could not afford to come into New York and get swept. So you got two teams that really need it. One's not going to roll over.
Well, that manager right there probably very proud of his ball club. For 6 innings this afternoon, they looked like they did not have a chance, and then they rallied in the 7th, and they showed a little personality and a little fight. Struggling a little bit lately, really need this win. We'll see if O'Day can finish it off.
All right, here's Derek Jeter. Derek is 0 for 3 with a sac fly today. Inside. Jim Johnson, he has struggled for a lot of this year with 9 blown saves. He's up in case the Yankees get a couple people on. 2-0 to Jeter.
You see O'Day in that delivery. He did such a great job in the playoffs last year against the Yankees. Tough time figuring him out. Low 3/4 arm angle, a lot of action in on righties, and slider sweeps away.
Two and one. Popped up, and it's over the Yankee dugout. And a Jeter fan with a Jeter souvenir. Swing and a miss. Rough day for Jeter. 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts.
A lot of the strikeout swings and misses at pitches down and away and out of the strike zone. Another wave from Derek, not getting a good look at that pitch down and away.
Now here's Cano. He has 3 strikeouts. He has never struck out 4 times in a game. Ground ball to second. Roberts for the second out. So 2 down, Yankees down to the final out. Here is Alfonso Soriano. Walked in the first, RBI single, drive in the first run of the game in the 3rd. Struck out in the 5th and grounded to 3rd in the 7th on a great play by Manny Machado. A barehanded play on a slow roller.
2-2.
See with this delivery, good slider away. Also can run that fastball in. Hitter, you're not used to looking down that low to pick up the arm angle.
Line drive right at Machado, and that's going to do it. So the Orioles, trailing 3-0 going into the top of the 7th inning, put a 7th spot on the board and hand the Yankees a very, very tough defeat. Soriano hits a bullet, and Machado hauls it in for the final out of this 3-game set. Yankees took 2 out of 3, but the Orioles did salvage the final game to stop the sweep. You have to stick around for the post-game show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. Adam Jones with a big 3-run home run off Java Chamberlain. Turned the lead from a 1-run lead to a 4-run lead. The Orioles didn't look back, and they move ahead of the Yankees in the wild card race with this victory. We'll be back.